Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required. Download Beely now.
I can't remember the last time that I went to the toilet and had just a normal poo.
So I want to be the Melissa I used to be. I really do not think there's any cure at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we raise our glasses to the cleanest colons in all of Spain?
Eight Brits are spending 2 weeks in sunny Spain, but it's no holiday. They've committed to 2 weeks of alternative therapy in the hope that it will cure them of the embarrassing illnesses conventional medicine has not yet managed to conquer. 5 days into the process and 3 days into a detox diet of juice, broth and coffee enemas, the patients are on an outing to a natural spring spa, which their therapists hope might level out their energy and mood a bit.
Usually the energy is actually quite low in the group and it's a treat. It's a bit of a luxury. It helps them see something else and can buoy them up a little bit and keep them interested. Somehow this group is a little bit friskier than normal, especially the girls.
The language barrier may prevent them from any frisky flirting, but at the outdoor mineral spring, some of the group enjoy flirting with the idea of fame.
Celebrity Detox we're in, and everybody, we're just British stars really, aren't we? Yeah. Very famous back home. I can't go down the street, I'll get mobbed.
I'm a high class escort.
What are you chasing?
I'm a washed up rock star, you know, too heavy on the booze and all that.
I'm a 67-year-old gay club owner. That's what I am.
What did you say I was?
You're like a morning cookery presenter.
Yeah, a morning presenter. Yeah.
A former page 3 model with a cocaine habit.
Inside at the spring spa, Amy's also joined the jet set, having a warm, high-pressure water massage. A blonde and beautiful 24-year-old. Amy appears to have it all going for her on the outside, but on the inside is where the troubles lie.
I suffer unfortunately from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which affects my whole life. I've tried everything I possibly can think of and I'm still really suffering from it. I find that I can't go to the toilet, get constipated, and sometimes I get the extreme where I do get diarrhoea, and I want to get better.
That determination has seen Amy embrace the detox on both a physical and emotional level.
We're going to see really strong, profound results with Amy, I can just feel it.
Sadness doesn't need a label. I don't want to feel like this though.
I thought it was going to be like really high-powered, but it's not, so it's nice.
Learning to allow herself to feel her emotions rather than suppressing them is part of Amy's detox journey, and so although her treatment looked soothing enough, she's frank about its effect.
That was a bit weird for me, to be honest. I felt sick. I had a bit of a panic in there.
While the rest of the group's spring spa experience is more about getting watered down, Dan's is about getting plastered.
I really sting quite a lot.
Quiet and self-contained, Dan's not one to make an unnecessary fuss.
Yeah, it hurts quite a lot actually.
So, if he's complaining about the mineral mud that's been applied to his eczema, it must be painful. Up to now, treatments for Dan have been quite general. This one, though, is specifically for his skin.
Normal.
Sí, porque tiene sal, salado.
This is normal.
It is stinging a bit. Quite a lot, in fact.
This mud, they said, would be beneficial for the eczema. They didn't actually talk about that, but we did speak to the GP who's resident here prior to doing it.
It's pretty close to being too much.
Should we just get it taken off? We don't want you to get uncomfortable. Do you want it off?
Yeah, I'm not that happy, to be honest. I'm not that happy with the light either, really, because I don't like the sun. I always keep to the unsunny side of the street, as it were.
Dan's had embarrassingly ugly eczema since childhood, but the stress of adult life has seen his skin deteriorate to such an extent he's constantly applying vast quantities of creams and lotions.
The heat generally can be like discomforting for the eczema. You know, sweat. It can be a bit painful with stinging and stuff, but also it can build up bacteria and it's more prone to infection when it's hot and sweaty. And then just the heat itself can make the eczema flare up a bit.
And there's only so much Dan is prepared to endure in the name of alternative therapy. It might be natural, but it's not nice.
I got really kind of hot and stingy and itchy, but it was hurting quite a lot when I was like strapped into it, as it were. Oh, it's warm and it's lovely. Oh, that's bad.
Dan said no to 15 minutes of mud, and eventually the team outside have to say farewell to their 15 minutes of fame and head back across the plains to home base, where it's back to broth, back to reality.
Broth and more broth.
After several days of only being fed fresh juices and healthy, if not actually hearty broth, dinner time's not the convivial occasion it once was. But if our 8 patients are serious about banishing their embarrassing illnesses, they have to follow the spa's carefully planned detox programme.
Detox is giving your body an MOT, if you like. It's taking away all the stresses for a certain period of time, so that's digestion, the kind of food you eat, the kind of air you breathe, the kind of thoughts you think. We need to uncover and break down waste matter in the body, we need to purify the blood, you need to give the organs a rest and really allow the body to do its healing. The body can heal itself given the right conditions, and that's exactly what detox is about.
Constant colon cleansing and a long stretch without solid food is bound to provoke tetchiness.
I just feel a bit stuffed tonight.
I'm with you. I'm just so...
To be honest with you, I know it's a bit crude, but I'm a bit tough as well. Yeah. It's different feeling, isn't it, that?
It is. Yeah, it's more severe.
Yeah, I feel a bit angry.
But apparently it's all part of the master plan.
Emotions are coming out because we very much know that when you release toxins from the cells, you also release old emotions. And generally, these negative emotions are starting to come out now.
To be quite honest, I couldn't give a damn anymore.
It's really weird, actually, because it goes from being like mad, insane, laughing at stupid things to everybody just like collapsing in a big heap. There's some weird shit going on with everybody.
In a way, you don't need to pin it to anything, what's specifically happening to this person. It's just their negative stuff that is adverse to health, be it mental, emotional or physical stuff, is now coming out. And that's why I'm so happy to see it, because I don't want it in there with them. I want it out so they can really move on in their lives.
So the best way I found is to get rid of your detox frustration. Is to shout at the flies. They're the only thing that be left anyway.
So the worm has turned.
Spreading it out as high as we can.
Halfway into a complete system detoxification, 8 Brits are wondering if this alternative therapy malarkey is really going to provide a cure for their respective embarrassing illnesses.
I feel very weird.
I just feel like a different person.
It's all nasty, nasty, nasty.
I'm absolutely exhausted.
Do I feel decent? Yes. Do I feel as bad as I thought I would? Probably not, actually.
Every day is a battle here.
It's not so much about the detox anymore, it's about life.
The detox process is tough going at this point, with one of life's pleasures, coffee, only permitted to be taken anally, and an almost starvation diet of juice and broth. It's all they've got, so no one wants to miss out.
We're like chickies trying to get our seeds.
And a spoonful of sugar might help the medicine go down in the conventional world.
Oh, that's lumpier today.
I spoke to my son.
I'm quite looking forward to it.
But in the holistic one, it's a spoonful of clay that helps the juice go down. The clay helps bind toxins and gets that colon plaque moving.
The principles of detox are that until you reduce the toxic load of a person's body, they're not going to be able to heal themselves, they're not going to be able to get well, okay? Now what that means is that everybody's toxic load might be different. It might be located in different parts of the body. One person might have a weakness in one organ, one person might have a very clogged colon, one person might have skin problems, etc., etc. What you do is you reduce the toxic load. That happens automatically through a detox. That's what detox is all about, giving the body a break, allowing it the conditions in which get better. Your body, when it's going through a cold or a fever, heals itself. Their bodies, as they go through a detox, will sort out their layers of condition if you just provide the right kind of environment for it to happen.
And in this early morning environment, only 3 of the 8 patients are up with yoga instructor Yair to practice neti. The Indian technique of irrigating the sinuses with salty water to promote better breathing.
When all the toxins are isn't it? Yeah. So what I like to do, I want to get it perfect, you see. Trust me, I always want to get it perfect.
Look. Work with the angle.
Melissa's embarrassment over what she's become in comparison with who she used to be has propelled her into detox. Since the diagnosis of her son's cerebral palsy, she's doubled her size, and these 2 weeks are about dealing with her addiction to food, and in the spirit of detox, she's trying to quit the nicotine habit as well.
I'm dying for a cigarette, I really am.
Perhaps because she's used to inhaling, Melissa's not quite got the hang of sinus irrigation.
That wasn't the right angle. You have to look for the angle, yeah? Otherwise it spills all over.
Got that right?
Yeah. Yeah?
Feels like you're under sufferance, but it's good for you. Salt water always has been. But when it goes down the throat, go.
Okay.
Oh, you've dribbled, love.
Work on the chest. Inhale deep.
She might not have quite got the hang of the angle with neti, but at yoga, Melissa's on a roll.
Whoa! You're great. Continue. That's amazing. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Let's try see if we can beat Melissa now. Is that okay?
Yair's yoga session certainly manages to put the smiles back on faces after last night's moaning, but one of the group is not yet up in any sense of the word. If miracles do happen, and their spa experience helped Charlotte and Damien overcome their infertility and conceive the baby they long for, she is going to have to deal with early mornings, but today, detox is taking its toll.
Tired girl.
I am, but I heard you laughing, that woke me up.
Good. You feeling better now?
Yeah, I do.
See you. How are you, belly?
Not too bad this one. I'm just very, very, very hungry.
Okay, well, you can get your lovely juice.
Charlotte doesn't function well when she's really tired. She just, every kind of rationality goes out the window. So, you know, when she's kind of had some sleep and she's feeling quite good like that, actually she's much, much stronger. So it's absolutely foolish to kind of get up when she doesn't want to get up and go and do something that she doesn't particularly want to go and do when she's feeling absolutely knackered. So, you know, I think she's kind of accepted the fact now that you know, she's going to feel pretty crap for the next couple of days. But actually, it's kind of all worth it.
Dan is another feeling the brunt of the detox effect. And yesterday's mud wrap didn't help matters.
Sweet. Do you feel bad this morning?
In consultation with his doctor, Dan was planning to continue taking his orthodox eczema medication whilst undergoing the detox, but he's run out. So, for the first time in several years, his body is on its own in terms of coping.
So now I'm 36 hours without a dose, and on top of my sort of flaring up from the detox, I'm now starting to flare up from not having my drugs. So it's a question of, well, what do I do now? I don't really know.
For 2 years, he's been on heavy-duty immunosuppressant drugs, which have serious side effects on his kidneys. So he'd prefer not to have to take them.
You get used to just taking drugs which aren't being particularly good for you, aren't doing you any favours in other ways, then you know, you've got to be a bit daft not to want to get off them, really. So I mean, that's the really big thing that I'm looking for.
By now, the complete absence of his usual medication has made the detox a far more intense experience for Dan, and he's feeling so shaky that he can't join in the group yoga.
My feeling with Dan is that, first of all, we have to respect that it's a really complicated case for us to deal with, because when you deal with detox, you obviously need to take into account the state of the body and also what they're taking in terms of toxicity. We'll do a huge amount in his diet, and we'll give him tools to manage his lifestyle because he's been suffering with stress, which depletes the body. But in terms of the medication, my feeling is that during the detox week, as much as possible, if we can, support him without his medication. Do everything we can to get him one stage up, one level up to detox, to give his body a break and support the acute reaction as much as possible.
And as the day progresses, everyone begins to feel their levels of energy dropping and spirits take a downhill slide.
It's going to sound very strange to a lot of people when I say that the fact that the group energy has dropped is a really good thing. It's important that that happens because people really need to go inward with their energy so that the healing process is deep. And on a detox, it's not just plain sailing, you feel better as each day goes on. It's all about waves. So it can be nice high energy and then you drop down, inner work, things get detoxed, energy raises up again.
I don't think I can do this.
They won't like it and it's difficult, but that's the way natural healing works. There's a worsening before you get better, but you get much better.
Middy's words are cold comfort for Dan in his current state.
I'm just pretty much disintegrating now. I can feel my skin is like, my neck and face is one stage away from just being mush. So either it's going to go to, it's going to be a big breakthrough.
It's a tough day for Dan, and he's not got the reserves to drag himself to the group meeting called by Middy, where she reveals yet another detox ritual on the path to purity.
So today's theme is parasites. And the thought of parasites, people often think, ugh, parasites, blah. The definition of a parasite really is a bit like a bad lodger. They come into your house, they eat everything, they take everything, and they don't give anything back.
After several days of detox and ingesting bentonite clay with their juice, the group's intestines will be ready to expel even more than just colon plaque.
So anything from yeast, overgrowth, candida, unfriendly bacteria, unfriendly bowel floras, to worms are parasites. And we have actually already had worms from someone yesterday. Very exciting. The interesting thing about Tracy is that Tracy knew she had worms with your second pregnancy?
No, when it was my first pregnancy.
First pregnancy. Mm-hmm. So that's something with Tracy. So it's not surprising that she's been the first person to see them and recognise them because she's seen them before. So it's fantastic, really.
When I had worms when I was pregnant, they were only little tiny things. But when I looked yesterday, they were about this long.
Okay, are they thick?
It's like spaghetti, a little bit flatter than spaghetti.
One of the things we're doing today is we're using a garlic clismatic, raw garlic in your clismatic water.
First it was coffee they had to take lying down, and now it's the rather pungent garlic. Is there no end to the weirdness?
Will it have a different effect? Is it stronger?
Well, we have always found that on our garlic clismatic day, anyone who hasn't seen a worm yet and has worms will see them.
Garlic in hand, it's off to see which landlord can expel those bad lodgers. Gives a whole new meaning to the term squatting. Some are not so inclined to invite others into their dominion to share the special moment.
The thing is, with these sort of things, I find it very private and a very private thing to want to do, you know. So I'm pretty much try and do it on my own without, anyone watching me. So goodbye.
But where one door closes, another is thrown open.
God, this is such a bizarre feeling.
And Mid is keen to pay court to everyone's post-garlic poo.
I imagine if I was a vampire, this would be pretty unpleasant, to be fair.
To be fair, unpleasant is by no means an accurate description for Damien's royally offensive offering.
Oh, that's really brilliant.
Oh God, it stinks awful. Well, I've just had a really massive shit. Although it's not, it's not shit at all. It looks like it's all plaque and there's all bits curled round it and everything, and it absolutely stinks. As you can see, Charlotte's just sat there. Oh dear, it really is foul. I mean, look at it. I mean, that's come out of my arse. You can kind of see the nasty kind of rubberiness of it all, and it's all kind of interwoven.
Colon plaque is really quite dramatic to see this impacted waste matter that's the shape of your colon that's been stuck inside your colon wall come out, and it's the kind of physical feeling afterward is like you have genuinely detoxed.
And how the hell has that come out of me?
I don't believe you're doing that there.
It's quite amazing.
Well, not all that amazing, really, when you consider what Damien's been putting into his system over the years.
If I'm being really bad and I'm just being really undisciplined, I'll have some Pepsi Max on my cornflakes. Which sounds really disgusting, but it's actually quite nice.
I'm so excited.
Really?
But when it comes to plaque, Middy's seen it all.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's plaque.
That's no mere plaque. That's a monument to colon cleansing.
The biggest load of nasty, evil, smelling
things. That is just fantastic. Well done, you. That's what we expect, and that's what we hope to get.
Middy's gleefully doing the rounds.
Check me out. Fantastic plaque. Like Damien, textbook plaque.
That, any white bits on your wounds or anything like that?
Well, that might be over there. That bit. Yeah, what's that? Let me take a look at. See, that looks slightly worm. Yeah, that does there. That little bit, that could be wormy there. You just had it in your hand.
Oh, that?
The end, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yep, so there you go.
I bet you're glad that's out and not still in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's getting out, isn't it? So.
Here in sunny Spain, the detoxification process is not getting any easier for our 8 Brits. They have to stick with it though, if they want to get closer to curing their embarrassing illnesses. They're only halfway through their 7-day fast, and everyone's wondering if man can survive on broth alone.
Yeah. Is it nice? I feel really knackered today.
Everybody's feeling really knackered, it's 5 days without eating anything solid. And also don't forget 5 days with having an enema in the morning and a colonic in the afternoon. So you can imagine not eating anything and having all that crap pulled out of you.
Yeah.
It kind of takes it out of you.
I'm absolutely exhausted. I've just got no energy at all.
The amount of rubbish that I've eaten, it'll probably take about 13 detoxes like this.
It's not the case that you are what you eat. it is the case that you are what you absorb. And whilst the body is toxic and clogged, your drains are clogged, you're not necessarily going to absorb the benefit from that food. So really fundamentally for anyone that's suffering from ill health in any way, detox is a very sound idea, it's a very sound concept in terms of the pathway to getting well.
At this point, Dan is wondering if he might have taken a wrong turn. The day started badly enough, and right now the combination of detox and the absence of his prescription immunosuppressant drugs have resulted in an excruciating flare-up of his eczema.
It's kind of got to the point now where it's kind of really thick and inflamed on my, it's mainly on my face and neck, and then it kind of just starts to break down. It's kind of oozing a little bit at the moment. And at some point it just breaks down completely and it just kind of disintegrates. The interesting thing is it's happening in a kind of top-down way, which is one of the things that they talk about as being a sign of this kind of holistic natural healing, where the body tends to do things in a wave, and they expect like a top-down wave of flaring and then a top-down wave of clearing.
Dan's struggling to body surf his way through rough seas, but in contrast, Tracy's skin condition is improving dramatically. Pre-spa, she was so embarrassed by her psoriasis, she'd cover it all up, whatever the weather.
It makes me feel very down about myself. It knocks my confidence because I'm just too embarrassed to wear clothes that I'd like to wear because I'm embarrassed of what my skin looks like. Look, 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 look. Look how they're clearing up.
That is fantastic.
It's never, ever gone like that before.
Leggies, let me see your leggies.
Yeah. They're not as good, but I tried to shave that.
Wow.
Even like my elbows, just, they were crusty when I came.
What I'd expect, Tracy, then, is this to continue downwards.
Right.
So the last thing to clear on you will be down here.
Right.
Because that's the way nature does it.
I just feel like I can take on the world a bit more now. Just not bothered. I just don't care about what anybody else thinks anymore. It's just like, it's nothing to do with me, is it now? Not bothered.
That's a really good place to be inside yourself.
Yeah.
The benefits are clearly obvious in Tracy's case, but not everyone is convinced detox is the way forward.
No one's yet explained to us how this is going to affect Charlotte in terms of fertility. I think we all feel as though this is a bit of it's almost like a really intensive weight loss program at the moment. And I think we're really interested to get into the kind of nitty-gritty of actually how this detox process is going to work on the bits that don't work in Charlotte. I think that's that's the kind of missing piece in the jigsaw for me, because I'm kind of a person of reason, and I don't quite get the link.
But it's worth remembering that even our golden girls have had their health issues too.
It would be easy perhaps to look at us running this and thinking, well, it's okay for us because we look reasonably healthy. But it's important to understand that a lot of our desire to work in this field has come from having to do this work ourselves. And just one of the journeys personally that I've gone through is infertility. And we overcame that using detox, natural medicine, foods, minerals, vitamins, and taking responsibility, deciding we were going to go down this road and let's see where it takes us, but it had to come from us.
Charlotte and Damien have been trying to conceive for 5 years and have exhausted themselves and virtually all the conventional possibilities.
The worst time physically throughout it has been, I think it was a period of 3-4 months where they were taking me off one drug and putting me on another, taking me off one drug and putting me on another, with loads of tests and loads of internal tests, and it's just like, it was nasty. But the worst part emotional was the day that she said, that's it, there's nothing else we can do, it's IVF or nothing. That was the worst bit, because at that point you realise, actually, this is really quite serious now.
Having been through so much, they're understandably sceptical about the alternative approach.
Alright, so how can food affect Charlotte's condition? Because it ain't immediately apparent to me how eating organic chicken is going to make Charlotte's ovaries work.
As they might say in Yorkshire, when in doubt, don't muck about. So it's off to consult with MIDI.
I'm completely passionate about your case. I go to bed thinking about you, you know. So something to understand for you is polycystic ovarian syndrome and endometriosis have the same trigger factors. So it's probably not surprising then that you have the two.
Yeah.
Okay. And the trigger factors to be hormone imbalance, stress, nutritional deficiencies, and blood sugar imbalances.
With a couple, what we're dealing with is the collective consciousness, if you like. And what happened today is they've presented a very negative united front, as in, this isn't working, what's the point of a detox, etc., etc. The only way really to deal with that is to try to bring them back to the bigger picture. When we have something like infertility, fertility problems, you have to say, look, this is a very intensive 2-week phase and it's a longer term deal. Look at the bigger picture. What is it you're after? This helps you get to where you want to be. This helps you get the end result that you're looking for. Stick with it. But I think it's quite tough to buoy them up.
So in my man brain then, just to help me out with this, so to summarise, so that actually blood sugar is at the foundation of all this and control of that.
In terms of dietary treatment, absolutely. My plan for Charlotte is going to be ongoing blood sugar control and dietary guidelines to show you how to control your blood sugar, because it really is vital if we're going to make any inroads long term into your health.
Middy's explanation has helped Damien face a few facts about his lifestyle, and Amy is also prepared to face a few of her demons on the reflexology table.
Thank you.
In holistic terms, physical problems are often a manifestation of an emotional block. Amy's embarrassing illness is probably the most literal reflection of that concept. Irritable bowel syndrome gives her pain, flatulence and bloating, but also leaves her chronically constipated for long periods. Can Ziza's reflexology skills unblock anything for her emotionally?
Reflexology is based on the principle that the foot contains a map of the body, if you like, and you can manipulate and assist in the healing of different parts of the body by working with the foot. So it feels very much like just that somebody's massaging your foot, but in actual fact the reflex point of that tip of the toe will be somewhere in the body, and that has an effect on that part of the body.
For Amy, Ziza senses a heart in need of mending.
The process was about separation with her ex-boyfriend. That this separation really make a lot of sadness and very traumatic. But she chose to go through this process and to really separate from him, to say goodbye to him in a nice and comfortable way.
And if there is any thoughts coming to your mind, just let them come.
It's here now.
Okay, it's getting out. It moves.
It was very hard for her.
It's
And the pain moved from the stomach to the chest to the throat.
So much.
I think she's very, very brave to went through this process, because it is very, very hard to do this separation, especially when you're talking about very deep love and a lot of blames, and a process that for like 5 years that she's holding things.
No one's massaging Melissa's feet, but her emotional reflexes are never far from the surface. Normally, stressful times would see her reaching for a cigarette with one hand and chocolate with the other. But here, she's trying to kick both addictions.
I just haven't got any energy. I feel I haven't got any energy. I don't want to eat, I don't want to talk, I don't want to do anything.
With Melissa, we're seeing very dramatic mood swings. Extremely high, bubbly, giggly, to this kind of little girl voice, to tears, to every emotion you can imagine within 60 minutes sometimes. And that's quite draining for a lot of people around her, I think.
And the point that Detox has brought people to, in terms of mood, means tolerance levels are dangerously low.
Certain people just whinge all the time.
And some people, frankly, need shooting.
Yeah.
Because they just need to get on with it and stop twittering about some pathetic thing that everybody else is dealing with.
It's just all these emotions coming up, and yesterday I felt horny, today I'm feeling absolutely tough.
The reason that's happening is that she's still stuck in this dynamic of hers, this sort of attention-seeking dynamic, of which there are deeper ramifications and deeper reasons that are being dealt with in the therapeutic situation.
Amy's emotional dynamic has clearly been released by her reflexology treatment.
Sorry, I know it's weird, but I just feel so happy. Such a big weight's been lifted off me. It's weird crying when you're happy. It's not that crying that I'm feeling really awful, but I don't at all. God. She just made me deal with something that I've never been able to deal with. And I've got it out and said goodbye. I feel brilliant.
Towards the end of the session, she felt like she's flying. She said she didn't feel like this, never, so relaxed. So, not feeling her body, very light, and she says she felt like flying in the air. This is wonderful.
Alas, the others haven't taken off yet. So Amy's on her own in the Mile High Club. Clearly a good place to be.
It went amazing. I've never experienced anything like it in my life, ever. That lady is something special, she really is.
It's glorious weather at the start of embarrassing illnesses, but the spirits of our detoxers are not as high as the Spanish sun. Several days of fasting have sapped their energy levels. One of the group, though, is marshalling his resources.
It's like Valhalla. Every day is a battle here, and every day there's a big battle and you must fight it. And, I'm fighting it every day and I'm feeling good. So, Are you winning? Yeah, I think I'm winning. I think I'm winning good.
Soldiering on is furniture remover Daniel's favourite approach. He's heavily into the reenactment scene, with all the get-up another layer in his physical armour. And as he's not won the war with his obesity, Daniel's hoping that his 2-week detox will enable him to lower his psychological shields.
I do put on a very I'm fine front and tell people I'm fine, and I suppose it's a bit of a macho front, really. I don't want to talk about things like that with my mates, so I put on a very sort of, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me type front with people, and people believe me because I can make them believe that there isn't anything wrong with me.
There was an early breakthrough when Daniel felt inspired to shave off the beard he'd been hiding behind.
Oh my God!
You look completely different.
So, one layer has disappeared, but infinitely more remain. If anyone can get to the core of Daniel's need for his armour of fat, Ziza can. But is he ready to bare his soul?
So when I did the food reading, we talked about a lot of feelings that he's carry for many, many, many years. And it's important for him to be perfect, and to explore emotion is not right, just to be always happy and good. Daniel, you didn't sweat like this before. Things wants to come out. Do you want to let them go out? Do you want to deal with them?
No, not really.
Okay. So in that moment, I'm not pushing more the person. I accept what he's saying, and I just finish slowly the sessions, and I feel this person is not ready.
The soldier in Daniel is not admitting defeat yet then, but Melissa's holy war with herself is back in full swing.
When people used to say treat your body like a temple, I never realised how important it is to treat the body like a temple. Crying seems to be my release of my emotions.
Well, just don't judge it. Don't judge
No.
it. Just let it happen. You know, no one's judging you here. We're just letting it happen.
Yeah. Just makes me realise, you know, how precious life is. And our bodies, you know, it's just so important.
In contrast to Melissa being down on herself, Daniel remains resolutely up.
I hope I keep my spirits up for the whole thing, to be fair. I hope I never flag and, you know, get a bit depressed or, you know, get a bit stroppy and stuff, you know. I hope I never get like that, you know. I just hope I'm always like this, you know. I like being like this, you know.
At this stage, though, Dan couldn't even pretend to be happy in his own skin.
So how do you feel after that enema?
Yeah, I feel a bit better actually.
Yeah, you're looking a bit better.
Yeah, I found with the enemas, you know, the last couple of days that I feel better after them, I think. And maybe a couple of patches are starting to work out already.
Yeah, I see it. Basically, this part and your nose in here has cleared up since this morning, hasn't it? Because it's basically like normal skin underneath there.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how bad it was, but I can feel, I think there's different patches, maybe even on my chin a bit.
Yeah, just under there. That's starting to come out. That's good. That's progress.
Good. Cool.
Great.
Day by day, each day at a time.
Well, each have to. And what you'll see is that it can change over a number of hours, actually. You know, from morning to afternoon, there can be a change.
Amanda's words sound hopeful for Dan, but holistic healing moves in mysterious ways, and he may not be out of the woods yet. There's only 2 days of the fast to go, and clearly it can't come quick enough for Melissa, who's not on good form today.
It's just juice, broth, juice, broth, juice, broth, juice, broth.
2 more, I can't even reach the bottom of that. 2 more days and it's over. So you got to keep thinking.
It's mental, man. It's
6 more days and we go home.
You know? It's mentally doing my head in. It really is. I mean, I don't even want to hot water, leave me a bit hot.
3/4.
But no one has the energy to give her much attention. Not even the naturally maternal Tracy, although she does try the old parental trick of distraction.
If I can get over.
Can I burp? Can I?
I don't know. What, is that it?
Yeah, it was going to be a bit of a man burp, but it didn't come out like a man burp.
It's because you're not standing up straight.
No, I can't.
Better out than in, as they say in Detox. And as the day draws to a close, extreme hunger pushes everyone over the edge.
Do you feel great?
It's fair to say that on a scale of greatness, the needle's barely nudging off 0.
You just imagine these people like at home and they go to Boots and they buy these detox sets and buy. And they go, oh, I'm on a detox now. Are you really? Are you really? Yes. I'm like, let's see that. Yeah, I'm on a proper detox, you know. Bloody hell.
Do not try this at home.
God no, you'd die if you tried it at home.